Podcast, episode 86. I am one of your mobile hosts, Cole Tixon. Joining me in the driver's seat is Ryan Tixon.
I'm speeding. No one can stop me.
No one can stop me. For those that are confused, in the 10 seconds they've listened to the audio version of this podcast, we are recording live in Ryan's 2008 Ford Hybrid Escape.
Escape Hybrid.
On our way back from a event in Evanston, Illinois, where we just played Mario Odyssey.
It was Nintendo World Championships.
Nintendo World
You
Championships 2017. We did not compete.
Congratulations on your championship, Cole. It was a rough season.
So I'm wearing a Toad shirt, and it's play on. You're the best around. No one's ever going to bring you down.
We got Jack back there too.
Yeah, Jackson's back here too. Jackson played some Odyssey as well. So he became, I don't know if he became a dinosaur or whatever he did.
We never made it that far. Came a lightning bolt a couple times.
Became a lightning bolt. Cool. So yeah, we just, we never get together to do any of our shows anymore. Apologies immediately for the audio quality since we're recording off of Ryan's iPhone. But
and a GoPro set up here.
And we have a GoPro that will be posted at youtube.com/podcast for those that want to check out our mobile experience as we drive back from Evanston is just north of Chicago for those that care, and we're driving back east to the suburbs here. Gotta get my directions right. We're going west.
We're going west.
East,
Chicago's
west.
east.
Chicago's east of us.
If you go more east, you end up in the lake.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a big lake.
Big lake,
Big Michigan. So Ryan.
Yeah.
We also played. I guess let's go off of.
Do you want to explain? Maybe just go over the event. How was the event? What did you think of?
We waited in line.
Nintendo World Championships.
For a while.
Okay. It was like and when we were leaving, the line was about half the size of when we started. So we waited an hour 15, hour 20 probably to get our demos.
Okay.
And we didn't play a game. We didn't compete like Cole said.
No.
We
were strictly there for demos.
Yep.
There were plenty of kids and families. It seemed like some families were there too.
It's a free event.
Competing. I think they had Mario Kart 7
was the actual game.
Was the
event.
Main game that everyone was trying to, and it was kind of cool. They had like a leaderboard and everything else. There was a gigantic Mario in costume there. So
Mario mascot-esque thing.
So maybe Ryan can post some photos that we took with Jack and him. But Mario, very popular. We ran into him numerous times. He's a doll.
High fives.
Didn't have much to say.
No.
But,
I was a little confused on where Jack was at all times. I had to look down and up and kind of...
He didn't even have like a It's a Me like audio box or something going on in him. But,
no.
But yeah, it was cool. I mean, taking these opportunities to try games. Obviously, Odyssey coming out here in a couple of months. They also had, and this was today, August 26th. So October 27th is when Odyssey comes out. So, early access is always cool to experience. And I'm pretty sure...
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure this is the demo that was going to be at E3.
Yeah.
So,
that's crazy.
Sorry.
I
know, we're on the same.
So it was a 10-minute demo. There was 2 worlds there. I did New Donk City. What did you do?
Also New Donk City.
Okay. And the other one, I can't remember the name of it.
Was the Sand one. Sand
Kingdom?
More like,
I guess they're all kingdoms,
like Mexico kind of inspired one.
Right. I from talking with the guy that was giving the demo, he said if you wanted to do more exploration, more like free world stuff or open world stuff, New Donk City was the way to go. So decided to do that one. I kind of wish we would have coordinated and did different ones now, but that's okay. So yeah, I mean, it felt really good. Felt like
Mario,
like a Mario game. I didn't, obviously, with 10 minutes that we had, I only got to explore certain areas. I was asking the gentleman that was giving the demo for his advice on like certain areas or what he was like favoring, and took me around to some of his kind of cool destinations. So I was favoring more of like the platforming kind of, because that's the way I liked Mario. Kind of sections of the map and collecting. I guess you collect moons or something.
Moons, collect moons.
which are like your main, if you're thinking about like Mario 64 or Sunshine or whatever, that's like the stars or the suns, right? Now we have moons.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were. What were they in Galaxy? I don't remember. But
weren't they like pieces of something? I don't remember. Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool. I totally enjoyed it. Ready for to get my hands on the full game in October. I kind of wish, because I have seen this demo numerous times, like online or, like we said, we both think that this was just the E3 demo they were showing. I wish they would show us a different section.
Little man in back's already asleep, but yeah.
Jackson's out. A little newer section of the map, because I had already seen a lot of what was going on with what they had to show, but I guess beggars can't be choosers. And happy with the experience that I got, right? So what were your thoughts or impressions? Or
I mean, I guess we're having like you said, it felt like Mario. You could do, I don't know if you were doing stuff like the long jump, or like, I don't know if there was a triple jump, but like butt stomps, and like you doing having him spin around if you spin the controller really fast and stuff like that. So right away it felt like Mario, which is obviously a good thing. I think I messed around a little bit with the motion controls of like spinning the hat around in different directions and stuff like that, which you can kind of like flick your wrist and get it on different angles and things.
Right.
But you could also hit the Y button, I believe, and also throw it out like in a straight.
Yeah.
So
they seem to be encouraging people to play with like the two unique Joy-Cons instead of like an actual controller.
And I don't know if that's because they feel like it's an actual like this is the way you should play, or if it just differentiates Nintendo from just Xbox or PS4 with a standard controller or whatever. I've been typically playing a lot of my Switch games in handheld mode already, just for the convenience of it. So I will probably play a majority of this game in that mode. So yeah, it'll probably be more like just hitting the Y button to go straight, whatever. So it's good, and I think Nintendo first party's been really good with taking into mind of the different controller schemes and things like that. Since this system has so many different ones or different ways to play.
Sure.
I only got to play 5 minutes because Jack played the other 5 minutes. But he was having a lot of fun too. It seemed just from a kid that plays Super Mario 3D World like every day, like we basically have. I checked the hour count the other day.
Really?
And we're at like a little over, it was like 102 hours in Super Mario 3D World.
Holy crap.
And that's been over the last about, I'd say 8-9 months. Okay. So it's not like we just it's not been like the last 2 months or anything like that. But
right.
And he picked it up really quick, and he actually started to like, he found a couple moons by himself.
Nice.
And like was running around the city and like jumping on stuff and doing stuff. So it's good to see obviously like someone that's just 3 years old that has some experience with Mario can pick up the game and play Mario. So it's obviously it feels like Mario.
And he like you had said, he plays a lot too. And when the familiarity with the Mario games as well, right? That you can pick it up and jump right in. It's there's new things, but it still has that Mario feel to it. So,
I mean, obviously, it's a big difference between. We've also played Metroid: Samus Returns,
right?
Which I think a lot of people may not have the experience of a 2D. This is like the first like main 2D Metroid game since maybe Super Metroid. So like the whole beginning of that, I think it was 10 minutes. Also, was kind of going over the controls and going over how the game actually plays and stuff like that. And Mario, there was none of that. It was like pick a level, go have fun.
Right.
So.
Right. So yeah, we failed to mention there were 2 demos: Mario Odyssey, and then the what is that? Metroid.
Samus Returns.
Samus Returns,
which is
for 3DS.
Yeah, which is a remake of Metroid 2, which was an original Game Boy game. This is the first time. There was a Metroid AM2, which was a fan remake of Metroid 2 a couple years ago, I think. That Nintendo actually shut down, and obviously for probably for this very specific thing if they were making one. So it's been in a playable form since the Game Boy, more of a fan translation, but this is the first time it's been like fully remastered by Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean
it played like a Metroid.
It played like a Metroid game. I don't own a 3DS, so I don't have any plans on getting one anytime soon.
I don't either. I do like Metroid.
If you like 2D Metroid games,
it's that game.
It's that game.
Yeah, I think what I did find cool was the melee attack.
Yeah, or it was like a counter system or whatever.
Yeah, it was almost like a parry, which I thought was pretty neat. And it seemed like it had a pretty big window of when you could like parry the guys. They like flash for a second and then like come in on you. And the window between seemed to be like the whole time they were kind of flying in.
Right.
Even Jack, he played a little bit of it, and he got a couple parries on him. So that's nice, you know. It's a little more casual and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I mean, all in all, and I ended up. So I own a Switch, but I ended up leaving with one. They had like a mountain of Switches there. I can't even get. There. But if you wanted a Switch, hey, there it is.
We got a Neon Switch.
Actually got one for a buddy that's been looking for them. He couldn't find a Neon one, so we picked one up for him.
You had a Switch.
Yeah, I bought one, I think, in late June, early July, maybe.
So when we recorded mid-June at...
Mid-June.
Mid-June after... Yeah, it's between... It's March.
Damn this March weather.
Yeah.
So I did pick up a Switch. I don't listen to our historical podcast, but I'm sure there's audio of me saying that. Like, I remember after that Nintendo Switch event, me pretty much bashing the whole event. So here I am, eating my own words, right? And loving to spend money and all that good stuff. So yeah, I have a Switch now. Been playing it quite frequently.
What have you been playing?
A lot of Mario Kart 8.
Okay.
I do have ARMS. I didn't get so much into ARMS. It's okay. I ended up buying a bundle pack and it came with ARMS. So probably wouldn't have spent, you know, I think with the bundle itself, I ended up getting that game with all the accessories practically for free. So I don't feel too guilty about that one. It's a fun game. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad game. I just don't know if it's a full-fledged. To me, it's more of like a pack-in, right, to kind of show off the system, that sort of thing, or like a 1-2 switch. I wish the Switch came with something to wet your whistle right off the bat. You got a Universe Series 1-2 Switch should have been that game. Yeah, but a lot of Mario Kart. I just picked up Sonic Mania, so I've been playing a lot of that. Sonic Mania being a perfect example of like, this is why we have a Switch, right? Yeah. Like, pick up and play anywhere. It's a Sonic game. It feels like an old Sonic 2D game. They're bringing back a lot of those 2D. Like, it seems like they're bringing back a lot of the old school 2D games. So, what else have I been playing on that? I haven't played Zelda yet. I know that you bashed me for not playing Zelda yet. Zelda's very good. It's just a time commitment at this point that I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna dip my toe into that.
I have like 120 hours in Zelda now, and honestly, it doesn't feel like that. It was a lot quicker than I kind of remembered it being. And I think that just goes to the way kind of that game flows and the way that game plays. And just, there was a moment in time in my life where like kind of all I wanted to do was play Zelda, and that, you know, for the first month, and also helped that first month, like it was that and 1-2 Switch, and I didn't pick up 1-2 Switch. Yeah. So,
I'm more excited for like the little one, like I love Rocket League, so Rocket League to me is a perfect example of something that's going to be amazing on Switch. I would love to see Ollie on Switch. I think that there was a tweet the other day from Roll7 pretty much surveying people, like, if we put this out there, would you guys play it? And a lot of people pretty much everyone would say, heck yes, we would. So I would love to see those types of downloadable, like, good on the go, and also, you know, if you want to put it up on your big screen, you can, right? Yeah. Like those games that are those more cool experiences than anything else, right? It's not like, you know, I have my PS4, I have my Xbox One for those major mass
I never
experiences, and this is a little bit more specialized, but it's cool.
Yeah, I never had a Genesis. We never had a Genesis growing up, but I had a Game Gear, and I played Sonic on it a ton. On Game Gear.
So like Sonic 2?
I think it was Sonic 2. Playing Sonic Mania on a Switch feels exactly like, it reminds me of that exact kind of feeling. This portable, like almost full-fledged Sonic. I bet if I went back and looked at that Sonic game, it wouldn't be nearly as cool as I remember it. But it's totally that kind of experience all over again to me. And Sonic Mania is great. I've been digging that. I played through that already. yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like the checkpoints with the fun bonus games. There's the gem one, which is kind of cool, where you kind of like, it's almost like the Sonic racing game, but way better because that game is garbage. And yeah, I don't know. The music's really, really good in it. It's just a good, fun throwback game, and it was cool to see those guys, Christian Whitehead, and those two guys that kind of it took fans of Sonic to make a good Sonic game, right? It didn't take Sega, which is a little bit of a depressing kind of thing, but yeah, I don't know. It was really impressive and really fun, and I kind of want to go back and play some more.
Totally. Yeah. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else I've been really playing on there. Thumper. I've been playing some Thumper on there. Some other stuff. But yeah, you know, I took the dive. Here I am, eating my own words. My routine now is coming home from work. I have a stationary bike, and just playing some Sonic Mania or some Mario Kart while I'm biking, and it works out really well. And you know, if Mare's asleep or whatever at night, and I'm feeling a little antsy, just hop into bed and play some Sonic and just hang out. So yeah, I've really enjoyed my Switch experience so far. I'm excited to see what else, you know, not only these little one-off experiences, but what else is Nintendo going to come out with, like with first-party releases that are going to make the system even grow more, right?
Or even like these partner, like Rabbids comes out next week.
Right.
That looks different.
I'm interested in that one. I don't know if that one is for me necessarily, but I think that one could be fun. Like the strategy kind of game. It seems like it's not necessarily a kiddie game, more than you know, you play casually or you can play it pretty seriously. So that one looks really interesting to me. I'm gonna kind of wait on some reviews and maybe watch a few videos before jumping into that one. But looks really cool as well. So Ryan, it's been a little while since we've done one of these. Any other thoughts on today's event, or do you want to talk about anything else you've been messing around with?
I thought today's event was really cool. I didn't expect that long of a line, but we chugged through. Jack was a trooper through it.
Yeah.
He's usually pretty good about that stuff.
I liked that it was a good mix of people, right? Like it was, there was young, there was old, there was families, you know, it was
hardcore game dudes that are just there to play video games.
Yeah. We saw kids in line playing ARMS. You could see them like flailing
inside.
So that's, you know, that's what they're obviously getting at with doing the Switch in general, is just like having people coming together. You know, everyone can link up their consoles together and have a good time. So
yeah, that might be the first time in public that I've seen more than two Switches kind of like linked up playing together and stuff like that. Right. So definitely cool.
Yeah, it was fun. You know, the line's a little brutal, but other than that, had a good time.
Yeah.
So, anything else you've been playing, or anything else? Any other news you wanna?
On the Switch, I've been playing Mighty Gun Volt Burst. Mighty Gun Burst. So it is. Have you ever heard of Gunbolt? No. It was a series of 2D kind of shooter-esque platformers on the 3DS.
Okay.
And then Mighty comes from Mighty Number 9.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Which might turn you off immediately because Mighty Number 9 does not come out.
Didn't review well.
But this is, so basically it's just the character back from Mighty Number 9. And then Gunvolt, you can play as either one of those characters. Okay. And it's basically what Mighty Number 9 should have been. It's like a 2D pixel.
So it's a mulligan.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a 2D pixel Mega Man game. And what's interesting about it, other than, you know, it's a fun, cool Mega Man game, which I don't think is really getting a ton of play. You've never even heard of it. Is that the system, you know how in a Mega Man game, you kill the boss, then you get the boss's weapon, and then that's kind of all you can do. In this, you get a point system, and then you can change the characteristics, almost kind of going into like kind of like a dev area and like messing with all the different things you can do for the bullets. So like, let's say you get like a fire bullet, you can set it to, the more things you unlock, you can set like, well, maybe I want like 5 fire bullets at a time. Yeah. Maybe I want it to like auto fire. Maybe I want the bullets to go in like a wave. Maybe I want it to go in like 5 waves. Maybe I want like a multi-shot. Maybe I want it to like bounce off wall. So there's like a lot of customization, and then you run into different enemies, and then you kind of like make different loadouts for your guys.
Okay.
And set it up different ways.
So
and you
there's
can
a little bit more forced thought into.
Yeah,
like,
it's not just straight
like strategy,
running
right?
and shooting. It's not just like your platforming skills and your shooting skills. It's also like your creativity of combining it, almost like making these weapons from the ground up.
Cool.
So it's pretty cool. I'm on actually the last level of it, so I'm hoping to kind of finish it up soon. And another thing that's really nice about it is that there's no lives. It's not a system that kind of punishes you to go back. If you die, you go back to a checkpoint, and you get as many retries per level as you want.
Okay.
And then there's a little timer at the bottom, and it tells you how many like retries you've done. But you can kind of just grind out a level if you want to just keep playing it and actually like play through the game.
Cool.
I'm gonna miss my turn if I'm not paying attention.
Dude, I don't know how you're doing this, to be completely honest. Because we're not in the city necessarily, right? But we're in the, you know.
Yeah. What is this?
Where are we in now?
This is Harlem and I don't know.
I think we're in Niles.
Toothy? Is that how you say that?
Toohey.
Toohey?
Toohey.
I don't know. I'm not from the city.
Toothy.
From the suburbs.
The old Toothy. Yeah, but this isn't exactly the easiest of driving. So
no, but
kudos to you.
Thanks, appreciate it. So yeah, I would check that game out if you want something.
How much?
I think it was $10 too. It wasn't like that much money.
Yeah, I like too that Sonic Mania was like, I think it was like 20. Was it 20?
I think it was 20. So this is half that.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm having fun with it. If you want something that just like is a platform, if you want something like a Mega Man like game that also like you can do some different things with the guns, I would definitely check that out.
Cool.
What else have I been playing?
Have you been playing a lot on the Switch?
I finished Splatoon. We haven't really talked about Splatoon at all.
No.
I
was playing some Splatoon.
Yeah. I guess I didn't finish it. I don't know how you can really finish it. I played through the single player.
Yeah.
I really
saved all the fish.
Saved all the fish, the fish bulbs or whatever they are, and yeah, I made my way through that. I dug that. That was pretty cool.
Isn't there a co-op mode? Is there a co-op mode?
So there's a thing called a salmon run, which is like a horde mode almost.
Gotcha.
So it's not really. I guess it's co-op. But yeah, you kind of. I haven't actually played it. Have you played it?
I haven't.
I hear it's like the best part of the game from a lot of people.
Okay. Well,
but
maybe we should try it.
Yeah, we should try it at some point. But I hear though it's like on at weird times.
Right.
Like it's not just like open. I guess it's open if you sorry, I'm driving. It's open if you are at like a local, like you and me, like ad hoc, like locally.
Right.
But online, I guess it's like between like 5 and 7 every day or something like that.
They don't make these experiences very easy.
No. And we could dig into our experience with the app, the chat app.
We tried it, and you know,
kind of hot garbage.
Yeah, it was kind of hot garbage. Like, you know, just okay. So there's no real party system, right? Like there kind of is if you're gonna do a custom.
If you want to do a custom
game where you have, you know, 8 friends, right, that all are on at the same time and you're coordinating and you're doing all that, then technically you can do a party system. But, you know, if me and Ryan just want to, you know,
go online and play,
because we're big loser faces, don't have a ton of friends, if we want to just play with each other, play online with others, right?
Yeah.
Like, you literally have to, I have to join a game or I have to be searching for a game, and then he has to join
your lobby of what you're searching.
Right. And a lot of times we found ourselves in a situation too where you would have.
That's the only time you chat too, is if you're in the same lobby.
Yeah.
So to like coordinate.
Right. We had to get on Skype or we had to call each other.
I think we just called each other like on the phone, like old men, because it was just
the old rotary dialer.
Yeah, Skype or Discord or whatever like makes sense for more than like 2 people. But if it's just you and me, like we're both already on our phones, just whatever. It's easy to call.
Right. So they don't make it easy.
No.
Nintendo has failed to make this easy, and you know my argument for all of this is you're selling an inferior product. You're saying it's free, but it's gonna in 2018 you're gonna start charging for this stuff. Like, what is the justification, right? Because this is like bare bones of what is kind of acceptable.
Well, I think obviously they're not charging right now, because if they were charging for what is available today, I think.
Do you really think they're gonna
be in riots in the street?
Improve upon this too much? I mean,
I would hope so. I mean, it's obviously they've come out and said it's $20 a year.
Yeah.
For their online service, which is significantly less.
On the low side, right?
Yeah, compared to everyone else, I think. I think didn't PSN just raise their price or something like that?
I think you're right.
So I mean, yeah, it's a third of the price of everyone else. So maybe they just say you're getting third the product. The interesting thing will be like there's no virtual console yet.
Yeah.
So they've only announced that there's those games that come every month that are just NES games right now.
Mm-hmm.
That you can play as long as you want and have kind of in your library, but that's the only kind of virtual console type system that they've put into place or have committed to at this point. Which I mean makes sense if they have a $90 Super Nintendo coming out and things like that. Or $80 or whatever it is. I don't remember.
I think it's 80.
I think it's 80. But yeah, I don't know. I would hope by sometime next year it'd be a little more fleshed out in its abilities. It's also weird, like, so when you launch the app, there's hubs for individual games, which is cool in theory. Like, it's cool to like go to like if I'm playing Splatoon, go to the Splatoon hub, and I can buy like gear exclusive like in-app gear from the vendor, and I can do this and I can do that. But if I want to like edit my profile, or if I want to add you as a friend, or if I want to
and friend codes,
if I want to register a game for my Nintendo club or whatever, I can't do that in that app. The only thing I can do in the app is click on a game and go into that game and kind of do that.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it's pretty bare bones right now, and it should be interesting to see.
Well, I'm thinking back to like the Halo 2 days when we had like a party system and everything in place. That was.
I look back at Halo 2.
What was that? Like 2004?
2004. And if you look at Halo 2, the Halo 2 party system, and compare it to what they launched with the original Xbox Live on 360, it's basically the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's so funny, like they're basically copying what Bungie kind of set up is like the backbone of like their entire ecosystem with the party mode, your friend, with your title, with you remember you had like a little avatar even, all that stuff, your rank, all that stuff was in the original 2005 Xbox Live stuff. So it's crazy that we have. You remember when
it was 13 years ago.
Remember when Gears of War came out in 06?
Yeah.
And it didn't have a party system?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, what the fuck, Epic?
Yeah.
Why doesn't this have a party system? I can swear because my kids sleep, but I don't usually swear in front of them. I'm not a bad kid. What the heck, Epic?
You just justified your actions. I like it.
Well,
he's out.
Yeah, he's out. He just moved his head.
He's still alive.
He's still okay. What the heck, Epic? Why doesn't your
What the fudge?
What the fudge? Why don't you have a party system?
What the fudge, Cliffy B?
Why isn't it just copy and paste party?
God, Cliff.
And it was
really
a big issue, and I think it killed a lot of Gears of War 1's kind of online success early on.
Yeah, I totally. You're right. I didn't even consider that game like an online game. To me, it was like there was a story mode, and then
once like Gears 2, and I think that was the first time Horde mode was in. Was that Gears 2 probably?
I believe so. So it wasn't the first one.
It was all that kind of stuff that brought that together and made it into kind of this multiplayer game that it was today. And there was different modes compared to like when at launch Gears 1 and stuff like that.
Right.
We don't have to dig back and really get into Gears, but that was just an example that came off the top of my head. So yeah,
I think we're kind of getting at the fact that hey, it's 2017. What are we doing here?
Let's go. Online is very important. I mean, you obviously run a majority of your business with your digital games and small indie games.
And there's a whole other market there too, right? Like they don't have like Splatoon is their main first party online game, right? They don't have a ton of that, but
well, I mean, this summer they had that. They had ARMS Pokken tournament comes out I think next month. They had kind of this like
Mario Kart. They
kind of had these 4 like versus like party online games, kind of right off the bat. But yeah, I don't know. I think the app, in my heart, I hope the app gets better. In my mind, I think the app's probably going to stay very similar to what it is, and we're going to spend $20 a year just for NES games.
Here we are hoping an app, hoping a thing on my phone.
That's a good point.
Is better, right? It's not even in device. It's not even part of your Switch.
Well, a perfect example is like So you could check in your like My Nintendo Club at the event we were just at.
Yeah,
which we did, and we got a sweet button for it and all sorts of stuff. And I got my 100 Nintendo points.
Because we're sheep.
Whatever. But anyway, I had to go on the website through a browser and get a QR code for them to scan it. Like, that should all be in the app, right? Like, all that stuff should be like...
Shouldn't have to go to a separate website.
If you want your app to be like a one-stop shop, everything should be in the app. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand, Nintendo. Why you gotta break my heart?
So here we are starting our conversation saying...
Very positive on it.
And now, talking about online components, right? It's gotten a little bit negative. So, yeah, personally...
And I think that's just because we like the Switch so much. Yeah. Like, I just want it to be a good thing.
Right. No, totally. And I do like the Switch a lot. And I have had a lot of fun with it. It just, in its own quirky Nintendo-ness weirdness, it just can never seem to be 100% right.
Nope.
It just, whatever they're doing over there, they just, I don't know if they just...
And it's not just
think that people don't care about this stuff, or if it's just neglect. People are, they think people are just going to buy it anyway because of the, more of the, I don't want to say gimmick, gimmickiness of a Nintendo Switch, but they just think that people are going to have blinders on to the fact that the stuff that everyone else is doing well at this point, they're just so far behind on it. So.
And it's not just the online, obviously. It's a lot of things on Nintendo. I mean, we could dig into the SNES, SNES, even if you want to say SNES. My SNES Classic pre-orders.
So do you say SNES or SNES? Isn't that's a thing going around right now?
That's a thing going around. You say SNES.
I say SNES.
I think I used to say SNES when I was a kid. But I think as I've gotten older, I picked up SNES from somewhere. Probably the internet, the bad internet. And I have just continued on with that tradition in my vocabulary.
That's very weird to me, because how often would you talk about the SNES for it to become...
I don't know, it just kind of come up, I guess, enough. I've talked about it enough, or it's been running in my head enough, where I've said SNES enough. Right. SNES.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you again, being the lamb that you are, or the sheep that you are, you bought one. You found one, right? We're talking about the SNES Classic.
I believe, I can't remember, it's like the Super Nintendo Entertainment System SNES Classic Edition System.
With Star Fox 2.
I believe is the full title of the thing. With Star Fox 2. So the day, like we said, we're recording on the 26th. I think the 22nd was the day 22nd or 23rd was the day where all hell broke loose, and at
Nintendo broke the internet again, the thing that it hates.
So at I think it was midnight our time, Amazon went up, or maybe it was Best Buy first, and then at 4 in the morning, I can't remember, Amazon or Best Buy, one of the two, also went up, and then it was by the time I got up, I usually get up around 5 every day.
Yeah.
By the time I got up, obviously the 4 a.m. stuff was already gone because of the West Coast and whatever. But it was oh shit, today is on. We are gonna pre-order one. I have Target open. I got GameStop open. I got Walmart open. I'm ready to roll. Toys R Us was supposed to get pre-orders, but they later said they weren't gonna. So basically that day was check-in notifications, waiting for stuff to come in. I had 3 in Target carts. But by the time I get to the actual checkout point where they take my information, they're already on my cart. That happened to me 3 times that day. Finally, during lunch, it popped up that I guess GameStop had them. I was like, oh shit, GameStop, here we go.
Oh shit, GameStop's still around.
GameStop's a thing, I'm gonna go. And I went online, and GameStop's website's dead. What the fuck? So, and then online, start through Twitter and stuff, people are starting to get physical GameStop ones. You go into an actual store, and I know, in 2017, go into an actual store, and walk up to a human being and say, I would like a SNES Mini, could you please give me one in a month? And here's a credit card. And then they say, sure. So that's exactly what I did. I jumped in my car, I'm like, there's one 10 minutes away, here I go. I got there was a guy in front of me, also doing the same thing. He tried to buy, there was about 10 a store, I didn't ask for this, but that's what I'm hearing, it was about 10 a store. He tried to buy 5, And he's like, sorry, one per household. So he just got his one left, probably to go to another GameStop.
That's the shit that I don't like.
I got one. I would have gotten two. I got one.
Okay, so let's...
I'm a shitbag too.
Yeah.
I got
Seriously.
one from GameStop physical, which is actually super convenient because it's like right next to my house. So I'm just going to go over there. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be the easiest thing in the world. I'm sorry to all you kids out there. And then...
if they just made these things available... There wouldn't, yeah. I don't get it because they're technically right. They made their sale. The things out the market. I'm talking about these people that buy up multiple units and sell them for themselves. All right, that's if they just put out more units, then they wouldn't have to, you know.
So I was looking at
that revenue would go to Nintendo. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't know what it is exactly. I was actually looking at so they made a Facebook post early this month saying by the end of the month, so they never give a date. They'll go up on pre-order, and if you read real close to what they said in that, it says, and we'll have substantial, more, I'm just paraphrasing, we'll have more...
you don't have the exact quote in front of you while you're driving?
No. We'll have more in stock on launch day. So maybe pre-orders aren't that bad. They don't have enough for pre-order, but they're going to have a ton for launch day, or maybe Reggie's just lying to us about another thing.
Reggie or Foodie.
Or whoever. So yeah, I got one, and then I got another one randomly on Walmart yesterday. They popped up sometime in the evening, and I got another one.
Mm-hmm. Which you're gifting to your brother. Thank you.
It's actually supposed to be delivered to my house on October 5th.
That's my birthday.
I know.
You just doxed me, Ryan. Thanks for doxing me.
I didn't. I just said the date. You're the one that said it's your birthday. Damn it.
I don't know what year, though.
No, you don't. 1948.
I'm 100 years old, so do the math.
There you go.
1917. I did it.
So yeah, I
feel 100 years old.
And, it was... I'm probably going to be a bad person and sell that one to cover the cost of both of them.
You're not going to... So no... I don't want you to feel like you're getting off easy here. Don't say you're probably going to.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
You're absolutely going to.
I'm a bad person.
You're part of the problem.
But you know what? I am part of the problem, and I will fully admit that and say that out there. I'm a bad person, and you can at Ryan Hank yell at me. I don't care.
Throw digital tomatoes at him
all day. But it's also, I feel like it's also a little bit Nintendo's fault, obviously, for not having enough.
Well, totally.
I almost feel and I never opened. I got an NES Classic last year, really easy. I pre-ordered it through Target. I was one of the few that didn't get canceled. Yeah. It came to my house day of. It was not a big thing. And then that day, on eBay, I saw ones that were sold for $1,200.
Well, I'm more upset
and it was
with the people that buy these things than anything.
And it was I feel stupid if I open this thing and play with it because I didn't really even want it. I don't really have. The SNES was my first console I owned.
It's an ugly word.
So I I have a very special place in my heart for it. But the NES I didn't. Obviously, I played at a friend's house and whatever, and it's a very important part of our video game culture and blah 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 blah.
Right.
But it wasn't it was just on a whim. It's $60. I get a cool thing. I'll mess around with it, whatever. But when it's going for that much on eBay and stuff like that, I would feel stupid opening it and playing with it. So I just sold it and actually played for a lot of my Switch money went to that. So feeding back into the machine.
I'm not.
And maybe that's me just justifying being a bad person.
Well, you're justifying, but I don't blame you for your actions. No. I just don't. There's multiple at fault here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo's at fault for not putting enough units out. There are people out there that are at fault for buying these things at ridiculous prices where they could probably just wait a little bit, right?
Well, I
know there's limited, right? I know they're not going to keep releasing these things forever.
They've already said through the end of the calendar year.
Yeah.
So if you're releasing something at the end of September, that is only 3 months.
Or you can just play a fucking ROM.
Or you can just play a ROM. It's not that hard. We all know how to do it.
A fudging ROM.
It's very asleep. It's okay. It's a very passionate Super Nintendo and Nintendo conversation up here.
Yeah. I know, this has been a Nintendo show.
It's called Peaks and Valleys of Nintendo.
We love Nintendo. We hate Nintendo. Nintendo. Nintendo's great.
Yeah, it's
I think we're at a happy medium now.
Yeah. I think we are only so mad about Nintendo.
Throw this Switch off the door.
Just whip it out the window.
Throw it out the window. my work buddy would be a little upset if I
oh, here's this video of me throwing your Switch out the window.
Yeah.
Can I have $300, please?
Yeah. Here's my PayPal address.
I think we're just so passionate about it because we care a lot about Nintendo, and it obviously means a lot to us. And we're enjoying our Switch, and I think we see a lot of potential in it as a platform. And obviously the Wii was like such a booming success, and the Wii U so less of. I mean, it's awesome to have Nintendo's back.
Right.
Nintendo's relevant. Nintendo's this cool new thing. So yeah, it hurts extra when they mess up.
I agree.
I mean, another company that's messed up recently, in my eyes, is Microsoft. We can get into that, I guess, a little bit if you wanted to.
Okay.
Have a discussion about that. I don't know unless there's any other games you've been playing or whatever.
I mean, there's been games I've been playing, but I don't know if we need to really...
Madden's out this year. It's officially the fall.
Madden. I bought like Madden. I've been playing long shot mode. It's cool. It's their single player campaign. Story mode is I am a person that enjoys a good story nowadays, so playing through that is pretty fun. I do want to give a quick shout out to Hellblade. Senua's Sacrifice on PS4. I don't know, is it out for other things or
just PS4?
It's a really good game. It's a really good third-person action, story-driven experience that has really bumped up high on my list as far as favorite games this year.
Oh, really?
It follows the story of this. You don't get a full background, but it's this like Celtic warrior girl that seems to be battling with some sort of mental illness, like and it's just a journey through her struggles with that mental illness and like what that means. And I find myself playing through it and wanting to do a little bit more research because they don't feed you a ton as far as story of what actually happened to this character. You put together pieces as you go along of what you think happened, but you don't know for sure.
Almost like Memento or something like that?
Kind of, yeah. And it takes you on all sorts of different... It isn't a linear, like, I'm here. I can be here, and then I could be way the hell over here. Like, it doesn't necessarily, from a story standpoint, have a B, C, right? It takes you to A to Y to, all over the place. And, it's really cool. The fighting mechanics in it are more simple, I would say, than a lot of games nowadays. There's there's a light attack, a heavy attack, a parry button, and an evade and melee.
So these are the guys that did the DMC game last year, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago at this point.
The Ninja Theory?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like a third-person character action game like Ninja Gaiden or whatever,
It is very much... it's a story with action elements.
Okay.
There's puzzle elements too. The puzzles are hit or miss. They're not. They're cool in the way that they present them because they present them in a way that it still plays into the whole. What is she seeing? What's really happening, or that sort of thing.
Okay.
So it kind of plays into the whole theme of her kind of mental illness and where she's kind of at with that. But the puzzles themselves are pretty simple. Most of them are literally just like matching up different shapes and that sort of thing so they can open doors and progress. So puzzles aren't...
Kind of like some of that early God of War games.
It reminded me a lot of God of War.
Okay.
In that sense. In both, just kind of the general theme too, like this warrior, right, that is battling these gigantic monsters and like...
okay. Actually, more. I like those God of War games.
Yeah. So I won't go into it too deep, but
it's not very long. You said, right?
It's about 6 to 8 hours, depending on how you want to explore it, right? Too. There's little side stories as well. You find these runes that give you like a little story along the way. So. Depending on how quick you can get through it, how quick you can get through the puzzles. I think it took me about 7 hours to beat.
That's a budget title too, right? It's not full price?
It's about 30, well, it is $30.
Okay. It doesn't look like a budget title.
No, it is beautiful. It is gorgeous. One of the prettier games. It reminded me of a lot of the aesthetics of like Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay.
But it's like Horizon Zero Dawn meets like Demon Souls. Like, kind of those
grungy kind of.
And what was the? Wait, I can't think of it. Kind of like Demon Souls, but on PS4.
Dark Souls, Bloodborne.
Reminds me a lot of the creatures and whatnot you fight in Bloodborne.
Okay.
But yeah, $30, beautiful, story driven. I play with headphones because it's a visual experience as much as it is an audio experience too.
Cool.
So you have as this person is kind of struggling with their mental issues, right? You literally have people whispering in your ears as you're playing, as you're going along. So you have them kind of if you're entering a dark room, they'll say don't enter there, or just they start to mess with you in that sort of way, right? That they're kind of whispering the negatives in your head as you're playing, and as a player, you're obviously trying to progress forward, and there's these voices in your head giving you negative feedback as you're playing the game, telling you pretty much can't do something, and it's a lot to kind of overcome, and I don't know, I find myself really enjoying it, or I enjoyed it, I should say.
There's no real replayability or anything like that. There's not
unless you want to go back and find all the runes. I don't think that there's really much for you to go back to play. I think it's kind of you experience it, kind of like Journey, right? Like you experience it, you're done. You decompress from it, and you think about what you experienced, and you just kind of move on, and that's the kind of stuff that I really am into. So
I'm glad this is a $30 game. I'm glad that they can go into that space, the digital space, and kind of price it the way that they want to.
Right.
I think there's been a ton of amazing games this year, and long experiences at that $60 price point that I don't think they all haven't succeeded. They all haven't done probably what they could have at $30.
$30, I would say, is even on the. I think they're being very generous. I would happily have spent. I would say 40. I would say 40 is fair.
Yeah.
For the experience that I had, but $30 is a bargain. I would highly recommend picking it up and playing it.
Huh. Might have to check that out.
So yeah, there's that, and then I don't know what else. What else you got? Anything else today?
I don't know. I'm playing a little Pyre, the new Super Shine game, which is almost like a weird.
It's starting to rain.
A little bit. Yeah, a little ambiance. It's kind of like so the gameplay element of it. There's not a ton of it. There's basically a mode in it that a lot of people are saying NBA Jam-esque. I don't know if you've heard this at all. But
I love NBA Jam.
Basically, it's 3v3, but you control all three characters. You move them at one set at a time. It's really hard to explain. I'm gonna try to explain it really simple. You move them one at a time, and then you can do attacks. One at a time when you're controlling them. It's like direct control, it's not like points or whatever.
Okay.
And then there's a ball in the middle, and if you pick up that ball, and you can avoid the other enemy's attacks, and make it to a pyre, a flame, on the other side of the court, let's say, you get points, and the person to knock the other team's fire out after 100 points wins.
That sounds fun.
And that's the basics of it. But it almost reminds...
What are you playing it on?
It's on PS4.
Okay.
I don't know if it's... I think it's just PS4 and PC right now.
Okay.
Maybe Mac too. Anyway. What was I going to say? It reminds me more of a lot of people saying NBA Jam because I think the kind of 3-on-3 in the basketball-esque
Plus there's fire.
But it almost reminds me more of a weird mini direct control MOBA. Because all your enemies have cooldowns. There's a lot of RPG elements. There's different runes that add different abilities that you can assign. There's almost a drafting section at the beginning where you pick the different characters you want to draft.
Okay.
And you can look at the other teams, what their abilities and what kind of stats and what they have selected. So there's almost an element of MOBA within this game, which I don't know if a lot of people are talking about or anything like that. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. The game elements are really cool. The actual story, I guess, I think it's 26 or 27 of these matches. They don't take too long. But in between that, there are these long, almost visual novel sections where you can explore and kind of get through different story elements and kind of spread that out. And that's kind of taken a little bit of time. I am kind of a slower reader, but it takes me about, on average at the beginning, maybe like, it seems to have ramped up the deeper I've gotten into the game. But it was taking me like 20, 25 minutes of in between these like games that I'm playing and the like story elements in between them.
Interesting.
So it was like a lot of reading, a lot of kind of exploring the world that you're in. So a little bit different from what Supergiant's played with like Bastion and Transistor, where it's almost like there's a lot of text in this game, a lot of story, which if you're into, it's pretty cool.
If you like books.
If you like books, and I mean, there's a whole ton of people that like visual novels and things like that. I think this game would be really great on a handheld platform like the Switch or the Vita. Supergiant has released all their games before on iOS, and I assume this is not a graphically intense game. I assume they will do the same thing. So maybe there was an element of that kind of thought into it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's a little slow in between with the story, a little heavy on the story, but the actual game of it is a lot of fun, and I wish there was more. There's no online play for that. There is a versus mode, but it's local only. So, I don't know, it'd be fun. And I guess
it's right back in the Switch again.
A little bit in the Switch again. It'd be perfect. So yeah, I would recommend that. If you like Supergiant games, you probably like this. The music's great in it. It might be a little slow for your taste. It's the only warning I would say.
Gotcha.
I've been digging the story personally. I've been having fun kind of going through it. But I've slowed down a little bit on it. I don't know. Is there anything else? I kind of want to talk a little bit about Microsoft.
Okay.
And the Xbox One X.
Yep.
And kind of the pre-orders have gone out.
They have.
They announced that at Gamescom. They had a Gamescom. They didn't call it a press conference. They called it a presentation.
Mm-hmm.
But it was basically everything they showed at E3. There was nothing new.
Not a lot of surprises.
I think the biggest surprise was there was a Jurassic Park game there that didn't exist before.
Saw that.
It's
like Jurassic Park Tycoon.
Yeah, it's made by those Tycoon people, so I mean it makes perfect sense. But that game's not even exclusive to.
What is it called? Do we know?
I don't remember it off the top of my head. Jurassic World.
Legacy? No.
I don't remember. I'm sorry. It's supposed to come out next year, supposedly around the same time as
I told Meredith about it. She loves Roller Coaster Tycoon, all those Tycoon games. So she may be into it.
But that game's not exclusive to Xbox. It's also going to come out on PS4 and PC, it sounds like. So a little bit weird it being announced there, but whatever.
You know what Germans love? Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. So here we go. I guess the other big thing is that they're publishing the Xbox version of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
I'm excited to get my hands on that.
Yeah, so Microsoft's publishing that with Bluehole.
I was hoping for a date, though. There's no date.
No date. It says end of 2017. I would assume it's going to come out on
Christmas morning.
On their, whatever their Xbox Games Preview, I think is the name of their early access system.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which Sony doesn't actually have a system like that. Formally, they do have somehow a lot of these Epic games have early access versions of them.
Yep.
Like Paragon and Fortnite, but they don't really have like an early access system, so I don't know how they're getting away with that or whatever. Should I go all the way up to the street, or should I just turn here and go to?
No, you can keep going.
Just go like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. We're getting close to being home, so we'll wrap it up.
So wrap it up. But I just want to get like your take on like Microsoft Crackdown got delayed.
Okay.
And there really isn't anything like giant coming out to the release of like their.
Yeah, I didn't really hear. I didn't watch it. Like I didn't.
Powerful. Well,
I've been checking. There wasn't.
I watched the whole thing and there was nothing there. I was hoping for some.
I was more just taking the news as it was coming out.
And I think you were fine. You got everything.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I think you made the point, right? That there was nothing too exciting coming out of there.
So I guess my question is like, what is your opinion? And maybe you don't even have one about like what's Microsoft supposed to do like in the future? What would get you interested in Xbox again? Xbox isn't your main console
choice.
My
Xbox is my media device right now more than anything.
Okay.
I use it pretty much as my media streaming device.
All right.
And I kind of do most of my gaming on my PS4.
Got it. Even though you probably would say your Xbox is on as much as your PS4 at this point?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, so they're pushing, right, 4K, they're pushing all that, and that is great. The HDR, all that stuff is great.
I think, everyone is doing that right now.
Right, that's
the thing to do. That's what you do.
That's what they're doing. And that, in general, doesn't really speak to me, necessarily. I don't have a 4K TV, nor am I really too gung-ho on jumping into that world. So I think for me, it made less of an impact just what this console is, right, and what it really means. I don't see myself getting too hyped about that just because it's not something that I'm going to be purchasing anytime soon. So, but what could they do in the future?
Yeah, are you worried about Microsoft and Xbox in general as having a future even, or do you think they'll be fine?
Are you thinking they're going to be more integrated with?
So I get worried about
thinking the console itself is going to be less and less.
Yeah, I think. I get worried about Xbox and how long they can survive, kind of just fluttering in here, not having exclusives, and having very minimal exclusives.
I didn't hear about the Crackdown delay. When is that coming out?
It's delayed to next year.
Okay.
I don't know if they've said like early next year or whatever, but it's not coming out. It was supposed to be at launch with Xbox One X in November, but that is not the case anymore. It's been delayed.
What did Phil Spencer do with his puffy chest?
I don't know. Why you always gotta pick on Phil Spencer? It's a callback to last episode. We're picking on Phil Spencer.
I want to fight him.
Don't fight
McGregor, Mayweather, Tixon, and puffy chest.
I like Phil Spencer. He seems like a stand-up guy in all those interviews and stuff that he does. He seems to really care about the brand.
He looks like a drunk uncle.
And I think he kind of got handed,
I'm going to be the drunk uncle.
Spoiled.
That boy back there.
Some damaged goods. With Diametric and all the stuff that he kind of laid out with the all media Xbox One.
Yeah. I guess I haven't really given much thought to the console going away. I mean, I don't know how much they're hurting right now. I guess I don't follow the numbers.
Yeah.
Per se.
And they're obviously like way behind Sony.
Right. They're never going to catch them.
They're never going to catch them.
I mean.
And you obviously like.
Are you saying is the brand tarnished enough that even next time go around, right? Like, we've seen it though. Perfect example with Sony that the PS3 was kind of a disaster. They turned it around with PS4, so there's nothing saying like the Microsoft name hasn't been tarnished. I think more people, for whatever reason, were less attracted to the Xbox One.
Yeah.
From the get-go.
Yeah.
And, there's nothing saying that they couldn't turn, people they switch their mindset very quickly, right? Like,
yeah, obviously
Nintendo is a perfect example as well, right? With the Wii U kind of being a disaster, and now the Switch, doing well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they're not doing Wii numbers, but that I know about anyway. But it seems to be doing better. So I guess I'm not there yet. I guess I haven't really given it much thought to having concern on there, just based on the fact that...
We're going to yell like...
Oh, boy. Based on the fact that I feel that these major companies like this have the ability to turn things around rather quickly. But... I
guess I just
could be coming from an ignorant standpoint.
I guess I just get concerned just with the continued lack of exclusives for that console.
Right.
And also the fact that...
Halo 22, right?
I mean, also the fact that a lot of their... So I'm in a weird position where I need a new PC, and I bought an Xbox One at launch. Mm-hmm. If I were to spend $500 on anything right now, I would just buy a new video card, right?
Yeah.
Because why would I ever buy an Xbox One X?
Right.
It's not on ever to play video games for me either. All their games that are exclusives, a majority of them, everything except Halo, has been launched on the PC as well. So it worries me on that front of how much are they trying to get out of the console market, and maybe just go to a publishing kind of standpoint.
Yeah.
And I think you're seeing them do a lot of desperate things. I mean, they also announced during Gamescom there's that exclusive Minecraft.
They've had a lot of
Xbox.
exclusive Minecraft things.
Well, Microsoft owns Minecraft now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the biggest pull the shoot thing that they could do is they would release Minecraft 2 exclusive on Xbox. Like, that would be, like, top of the world, like, how are we going to save ourselves? This is the only way, Right. Like, that's the only thing I could think of. Because not even Halo. Halo doesn't have the same pull that it used to before, right? So that's kind of the only thing that they have, like, in their pocket that they could...
What's the next thing, right?
What's the next thing above that? And obviously Minecraft is... I would say Minecraft's probably more popular than Halo ever was. In general.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I just worry about that. I just worry about that ecosystem and Xbox in general. I don't want to...
you're worried about it.
Yeah, it keeps me up at night. I'm very concerned about it.
Yeah.
I just don't want them to turn into Sega. I don't want them to turn.
North Korea has the nukes. Ryan's concerned about the state of Microsoft.
I just don't. Yeah, Microsoft. Poorest company in the world.
I mean, it's a gaming podcast.
Yeah,
in the scheme of things,
like none of this really matters.
We care.
We care. I don't.
It's not gonna keep us awake at night, right? Like you said.
No. Yeah, I just don't want to turn into Dreamcast. I just don't want this to be the last. I have a lot of, obviously fond memories.
Start buying Xbox games, Ryan.
Xbox stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm at the point.
I would if they came out with games that I want to play. That's the big issue. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like, I haven't bought, and you're right, I haven't really bought a Microsoft game.
Did you buy Forza 3 last year? Did you buy Halo Wars?
Because I don't care about those things.
Are you going to buy Crackdown when it comes out?
I will buy Crackdown.
I'll probably buy Crackdown. Are you going to buy Forza? Are you going to...
No. Stop saying Forza, because I've never bought a Forza game.
But every year, that's the only exclusive thing.
Well, if they think that is what's going to draw people, I'm speaking from my own perspective, but it's just not going to fly, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's just a little concerning to me. I don't know. Okay. That's all I want to say. And I just didn't know.
We can't keep rolling out Gears, can't keep rolling out Halo and expecting to survive, right? So,
the ultimate joke now is that since Crackdown's not coming out until next year, is there going to be a Halo 6 demo in the new Crackdown, like there was in 08?
And even Halo at this point, I feel, obviously the name isn't as strong, right?
Yeah.
But I did not find myself playing Halo 5 nearly as much as I did 3 or 4.
No, or
2. 2 I played probably the most out of all of them.
Yeah, me too.
That was kind of
the thing you did.
That was the peak, right? I don't think it's never going to get there again.
No.
But you're right. There is a definite
especially
lack
of Call of Duty and Destiny,
right.
Like eating those.
It's definitely good. There's a lack of exclusives. There's a lack of gaming content. I don't know if they can somehow leverage anything else. But if they want to be a game console, they gotta put out that next thing, and not only put out the next thing, but the thing after that and the thing after that. So.
And I think they were really aggressive when the Xbox wasn't really putting a dent into the PS2. They released the 360 a year earlier in 05 compared to 06 with the PS3, and it was $200 cheaper, right? Yep. So I would like to see them. I think Xbox One X will be available for another 2 years before you'll see if we're gonna have ever another Xbox. I think it'll be probably another 2 years, and I think they'll release that, or I guess like a year and a half. If it's coming out this year, I'm saying 2019, there'll be like an all-new Xbox, whatever it's called, the Xbox One 2, or whatever it's going to be called.
The Xbox.
And I think that's the only way that they can completely cut off that Xbox One, I don't want to say a system that has been kind of their downfall the last, this whole generation.
It's sold. It's been
it's
selling
sold
well.
Fine. Yeah, and I think a lot of people have one, and I have one. You have one. There's a ton of Xboxes out there. Right. I think just from, and maybe it's just us kind of in the gamer world, that I think Xbox, if it's Xbox versus PS4, I think Xbox has been winning. I don't know, 9 out of 10 times. Where like,
you mean PS4 has been winning?
Oh yeah, PS4. I'm sorry, I'm still driving and stuff.
Xbox is winning. We wouldn't even
have
this conversation.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
So I don't. It's
food for thought.
It's a little, makes me a little sad. As an old Xbox gamer, Xbox is struggling so much.
Yeah. Okay.
We're about a minute from your house according to Google Maps, and I feel like this is a pretty good time to stop anyway.
Well, Well, fix it, Phil. If you can't fix it, who else can?
I don't know.
So if you liked this show, and I don't know why you wouldn't with this wonderful audio quality and video production that I'm sure Ryan put on, check us out at fewbits.com, rate us, download other shows on iTunes, Google Play, Facebook, Few Bits, Twitter at Few Bits, all that good stuff, youtube.com/fewbitspodcast. We appreciate your support and we love you all. So until next time, we'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm Jack.
Oh, he said bye.
He said bye.
He said bye.
He popped up. Want to say bye, Jack?
Bye.
Oh no, he wasn't. Bye.